Travel with me.
Hey fellow humans, Mina here. Welcome back to another Drive and Talk and also another book review because I felt like it and also maybe kind of fun. I don't know. I might get some hate on for this one because I'm going to be talking about, I guess it's technically another classic. Last week I gave a rant review of The Haunting of Hill House. If you want to check that out, check out the card or just go look for it in a playlist, in the Booktube playlist. But I suppose this one's technically a classic. Modern day classic. I don't know if you consider it. It's old school anyway. It's at least 50 years old. But we're going to talk about Dune. Yeah, that big sci-fi book. And I literally mean big. It's like really thick. I actually watched the movie, the remake, and it was really awesome. Like, made me super into it, and I'm like ready for part 2. I believe there's a trailer for it. I don't know if it's out yet, but if and when I realize it's out, I'm gonna check it out because I really enjoyed part 1. I know they made a movie like a bajillion years ago when this book probably came out, but I've never seen the original, and I can't speak whether it's better or not. But I will say that the new remake did make this book better because while I didn't hate the book, it wasn't my favorite read of the world. But let's hear what I thought about it. So first off, I applaud Herbert for his fantastic world building. He set the course for all fantasy / sci-fi works that we know and love today. Not to mention, he has a great way with words. A lot of people love Dune and the series as a whole, which has 50 bajillion books, by the way. And they should love Dune in this series as a whole. However, as of now, I'm not 100% a fan. I mean, I am if you're counting the movie, but this is a book review, so I guess we're not. So first off, it's a huge novel. This is a chunk of a novel. Nothing wrong with that. It's just literally the entire first part of this book is a giant exposition dump that helps world build. And I get that it's a massive world to build. Many worlds, a lot. Being extremely far into the future and on other planets as well, but there had to be a better way to go about it. A lot of the world building was also very political and thus, in my opinion, because of that, very boring. The book only got interesting at about 48-ish%, and even that was at that point it was a little bit iffy. But later in part 2, when Paul and Jessica find themselves with the Fremen, did the book finally pick up pace and become interesting to me. And I was mostly interested in the Fremen and their culture, and they were actually hella fun to learn and read about. Speaking of Paul and Jessica, our main characters, out of everyone named in this book, they're the only two with normal names that struck me as odd. Everyone has a super cool fantasy name like Chani or Leto, but the main characters get boring non-fantasy names. It's a little unclear why Herbert did that. I mean, they do get Fremen names later on, but still. Actually, maybe he has a reason for that, and he said it in an interview or something, but I really don't know. I didn't research. This is just my opinion after I read the book. But yeah, I didn't care for Paul as a character. He felt too much of an overpowered god character and was kind of a jerk to most people because of it. At least that's how I read him. And also, I also wasn't a fan of his insta for Chani. There was zero chemistry. They met and were we are supposed to be together, and so it was. Then they had a kid that we never saw, and when the kid died, and I felt nothing because we spent no time with him. We barely spent time with Paul and Chani. Not that this book needs a romance, I'm just saying if you're gonna include one, make me care about it. As for the writing of the book itself, it was a bit confusing. The first half of the book took forever for things to happen. Then midway through part 2, we get very confusing time skips. A lot of plot points started rushing, especially near the end, that made for a confusing read for me, especially as we spent so long on the other story points, like with Leto character, and only to have him die. Speaking of Leto, I'm sure that Harkonnen would have killed him regardless, but like, why did he follow along with the plan to kill himself in order to kill the Duke? Like, he didn't have to. I don't know, a false poison tooth sounds like a stupid plan to me. There had to have been another way. You can also definitely tell this book is in a series. There's just too much information in this book not to, especially the ending. Nothing wrong with that, just wanted to point that out. All in all, it's not a bad book. It has a lot of potential, as can be seen with the inspiration for things we love today, like Star Wars or Ender's Game. While I absolutely love all the work that Herbert put into this book, and most likely the sequels, it was too boring for me to get into most of it. Maybe because it did pick up and got kind of interesting in the later half of the book. I'll check out the rest of the series at some point, but for now I'm gonna wait just a little bit. But I'd probably still recommend this for any sci-fi lover out there, though, because this really is like the book that brought the genre to what it is today. And while it wasn't my favorite read ever, it's not the worst, so that's why I'm giving it a 2 out of 5 on this book. But it did get more interesting, but only like in the later half of the book. So because the first half was just a drag to get through, that's why it's not getting super high. But I think I will continue the series, but like, again, not right now. So yeah, how about you guys, my fellow humans? Have you read the book? Have you seen the original movie and the remake, or one or the other? What do you think about them? Do you agree with me or not? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm still excited to see the movie part 2. I wonder if they're gonna adapt like all of the books, because I remember checking and there's like a bajillion in this series, so like I have no idea if they're gonna do that, but I mean, you know, money. So yeah, let me know if you enjoyed this book, and why you think I'm wrong or why you agree with me. It'll be fun. Anywho, that's all I gotta say for now. If you want to keep hearing more about stuff, be sure to follow me on all your favorite socials. Links below. Stay safe and take care. Bye!